All right. Just got back from practice, getting ready for a lot of things, weather related, and then obviously a big game. So full speed ahead. Didn't get much sleep last night. Probably won't get much the next couple of nights, and I'm trying to do as much as we can to help keep things normal for our guys while being safe and being where they need to be, and that sort of thing. So with that, we'll open it up.
Most of the heavy work is done through Wednesday. Just so, what are your plans for tomorrow right now in terms of what you're going to do, and then Thursday?
Yeah, so we're able to practice at the Saints today. Very grateful to those guys. So got that work. Got our normal Tuesday practice in really for the most part. Had to cut a few things just for time for travel over and travel back. Tonight. We'll stay together as a team. We'll go to our team hotel like we would the night before our home game. We'll do that the next couple of nights, it looks like. That way our team hotels get generators, those sort of things to keep things online for our guys. Hopefully, I've told them pack like you're going on a couple-day road trip. Bring all your school supplies. We'll have some academic time tomorrow at the hotel and tonight. Do our normal football activities as much as we can. Tomorrow's practice is going to be very dependent upon, what's the timeline of the weather getting here. Practice isn't the number one focus. Health and safety is. But would like to get as much of a normal practice routine as we can. So if we can, we'll try to, find a location, whether, I don't know, how we're working through the logistics of could that be the Superdome or could that be the Saints or could they even be here. I don't mind practicing in the rain. We would have practiced here today if I knew it was just going to rain, but yesterday at the forecast it had lightning at this time, so it changes. So we're trying to probably go about an hour tomorrow if we can, which is a touch shorter than normal, but try to get something, and then hunker down as it looks like, I'm an untrained meteorologist at this point in life, and I think it looks like midday-ish, so we'll try to make sure we're all in place a couple hours ahead of everything.
Have you had to deal with this before? I can't remember when you were an assistant.
Yeah, as an assistant coach here, my first game was Isaac. So we were gone. We're in Birmingham. This was a little more unique because it's in the middle of the game week, like where we knew a little bit earlier. This kind of, we knew it was a potential, but it really heightened yesterday. And our normal evacuation plan is Birmingham, which we did that year, with the charter flight for the game, and there was 3 or 4 different options talked through with our administration, and I told them, hey, I'm first and foremost health and safety, and then what makes the most sense for the well-being of our team, and as we kind of evaluated things, we felt like this was probably the best decision.
It's no surprise that Coach Venables has brought a pretty good defense to Oklahoma. From what you see, like what maybe impresses you the most about what they're able to do on defense? Yeah,
they're well coached. Brent does a great job on the defense. Their defensive staff's really good. They got really good players. Good scheme and good players usually make for good football, and they're really well coached with great players. And they do a lot of they're multiple. Like they keep you really guessing, keep you off balance, do a lot of different things schematically. Watching their tape, they present a lot of challenges with what they do, and the guys they're doing it with make it even tougher. So we got our work cut out for us. People have not put up points on them this season to this point, and so they're stingy for sure. Sorry, Greg McMahon's excited we just finished practice. Doesn't get any better.
Oklahoma also leads the country in turnovers with 8. What have they been able to do so far to be able to force so many turnovers?
Well, they attack the ball and the ball carrier. They swarm. They run with great energy to the football. And they got guys that can make plays. And then, like I said, they put you in binds with what they do schematically. They put you in some pressure situations. And they've gotten people into obvious pass. But they're really an attacking group. And I think the multiplicity they present also just it presents problems for your offense. And so we've got it. And playing there, they've played both their games at home. This is game 3 at home for them in a row, and it's a hostile environment. It's loud. I've had I've had texts with other coaches in the league. I texted with Chris Kleiman, who we played this past week, and Chris texted me this morning. He's like, it's one of the loudest places you'll ever go. And so I've played most places in the SEC as a coach or a player. Haven't ever played at Oklahoma, but by all accounts, it's loud.
Coach, you've had a chance to obviously dissect the tape last week with Mensah. When he gets out of the pocket, he does some great things. He can also be a liability, as we saw with the fumble.
Yeah.
What is the message to him? Because this is another team that's going to be relentless with the rush and be all over him all game.
Yeah, one of his strengths is his poise and calmness and confidence in the pocket. He's got to know when the journey's over. Hey, sometimes the show's over, just go down or get it out. And we learned the hard way on a couple of those. We had the grounding. That's a new thing for him. Everything's new for him. And then understanding, hey, a 6-yard sack was maybe not desired is better than maybe getting careless with the football and turning over and giving a touchdown up. So he's learning. Today at practice, he had one that we're all screaming at him like, hey, put the ball away. Like he's going to get it. He's going to learn it. I think usually, it's like being a kid. You touch a hot stove and you learn it's hot. Don't touch it anymore. Like, hopefully he learns, hey, if I'm in traffic, put the ball away. And I think he will. He's a smart kid. He's a conscientious kid. He's a thoughtful kid. But there's a lot of lessons to be learned. A lot of positives. There's some things that we got to get better at and grow from, and I'm confident he will. And I've liked his approach. I think the best thing about him is he's been harder on himself than I could ever be on him, which that usually bodes well for being a good player is when you care that much. So he's got to bounce back. He's got to do some things better. We all do. Coaches do too.
You have a lot of transfers on your team that have played at Power 4 programs. I'm assuming going to Oklahoma is not going to be that big of a deal to a lot of these guys. Maybe to Darian, it's his first big road game. But I gather you can lean on these veterans there that have been in hostile environments and are used to these big-time games.
Yeah, it is. Maybe individuals have that exposure. It's our first time as a team to handle that atmosphere, and there's a lot of individuals that haven't, and so it's a new experience for everybody involved, and we're a team that's never gone and done it together. And it is a place that's traditionally loud and hostile and hard to play in. And so we've got to be really poised with how we handle it, and not. I think you can get overexcited about it. Like you almost have to just like ignore it to some degree, and control what's right in front of you. And we worked today with the crowd noise at practice. I don't know, the offense couldn't really communicate very well verbally, so we're making them have to work through some of that right now. But it's a challenge for sure, and it'll be new for some of our guys. Some of our guys have been there. I don't care how many times you've been there in those environments, they're still challenging. Even as a coach, like I'm like, all right, it's nice being able to communicate at home, and you go on the road in that kind of environment, it gets loud.
Of the transfers, Mario obviously played at Oklahoma. He's had 200-plus games so far. Just how much of an impact has he had on the offense?
He's been extremely impactful. I think 10 catches and 250 yards roughly. That's a pretty good two-game start. I've said this, like he's worked incredibly hard. Like watching him in our off-season training, I've got no doubt that he's going to have the kind of success he's having because he brings it every day. He works his tail off. He's extremely competitive. The biggest thing for him as we move into this game is don't worry about hey, I'm going back to Oklahoma piece. Like that doesn't have any impact on you playing well. What helps you play well is do your job at a high level, focus on the details of what your job is, and go execute and be the best you can be individually, and then help support your teammates. And I'm excited for him to have that opportunity to go back to a place he played and maybe start his career. But what gets you the results he's gotten isn't going to be focusing on a logo of who we're playing. It's just going to be do your job to the best of your ability. Good? Thank y'all. Appreciate it. Thank y'all.